Okay, let me get back to the penguin because I'm
The
still thinking.
Penguin, episode 4, Centani. A shout out to Sophia and Matt Reeves. They're still cooking. All right, guys, branch your back Geek variants cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. Be sure to hit that lovely red subscribe button if you enjoy the content, and if you already subscribed, be sure to watch our videos. Help us out towards getting to 1,100 subscribers and getting towards monetization. But enough about us. Tony, your thoughts on the Penguin episode 4?
I think I've said this in the first couple episodes that we were going to get a filler episode, and that's basically what this one was. But the only difference between this filler and other filler episodes from other shows, this actually gave us information that we needed. So it was still a great episode, while it might not have been strong as the other ones because this is a Penguin series, but Penguin was in here very minimal. It was a more of a Sophia episode, but it's what we needed. We needed to know, why did she get sent to Arkham? What happened to her in Arkham? How did she get out of Arkham? What led to everything with her being in Arkham? And this episode masterfully answered every single question that I had. I don't know if it answered every question that everybody else who watched this show does, but for me, every single episode, every single question I had about her life, about what happened to her, was answered fully. It picks up at at the end of the last episode where Penguin and Sophia are at gunpoint. Vic comes in, saves Penguin, and then they're gone. And now we get to concentrate on Sophia and find out what happened, and find out that her dad was, spoiler alert, killing people, a mass
A
murderer.
mobster? My goodness.
But he wasn't killing other mobsters. He was killing random women, including Sophia's mother. And he got to pin all of this on her because a certain reporter got to Sophia and brought up questions that Sophia had and said, I got proof. And that started her going to Arkham. The dad ostracized her. He used his influence in the police and the local government to have her sit away. Because at first, remember, she thought Oswald had something to do with it. Now, while Oz did say something to the dad about talking to reporters, because that's not what you do when you in the mob. You don't talk to the reporters. They have reporters on the payroll. You don't just talk to a random person. So Oz technically was looking out for the family, but he was 100% against her getting shipped off to Arkham. 100%. He was like, nah. So between him and the brother, they was the only ones in the family that had her back with this. So then she gets put in Arkham, and you can see the little meek, timid Sophia, like, why am I here? Okay, I can do 6 months. And then the brother comes out and said, well, you're not having a trial. Basically, dad pulls some strings, and you in here for a while. She gets jumped, as you do. She gets set up for murder. She gets the electroshock treatment repeatedly. She has the crazy friend in there. For those that know, Magpie is a C, maybe a D level villain in the comics. She really doesn't do nothing. To me, she was a good name drop. As Brent said earlier, she is. That's pretty much while she was here. She was just a name drop. Sophia, gets beat up by. We still don't know who she was. I gotta find out that chick's name because she was like what, 6'4".
She was gargantuan.
she
She could have
she
handled
was
just about anybody in Arkham.
yeah, she was the big one, and Sophia's like, why was she off of her leash? Why y'all let this girl beat me up? And then they was like, okay, we're gonna give you the opportunity to get your revenge, but that was a setup just to get her committed, even for years and years, because she wasn't gonna kill the girl. The girl ended up killing herself, And it was like, okay, Sophia knows the fix is on now. So now she's like, all right, you want me to conform? I'm going to conform. And she beats Magpie to death, which I was shocked with because I didn't think she had it in him. I thought, okay, she's
This was
just going,
showing the evolution of the character from that
right,
soft woman that you're talking about into this hardened criminal who can do what she needs to do in order to survive. She's not out here looking to take life, but she's
right.
ensuring she's going to keep hers.
And she was in there, and Dr. Rush was there, who I still think is Scarecrow. Brent tells me he don't want it to be Scarecrow. He wants Hugo Strange. After seeing this episode, honestly, I can see either one. I can see Hugo coming in because we don't know. Later on in the episode, Dr. Rush tells us that he's no longer there. The original Doctor's no longer there. So that could be a perfect opportunity for Hugo Strange to come and take over Arkham. I can
Because she
see
was in
that.
there for 10 years. 6 months
10
turned into
years.
10 years real quick.
And anybody who's been anywhere behind bars knows 10 years, you change. We don't care who you are, you change. And so when she came out, she had this aura about her like, I'm not taking no trash off of nobody. Nobody's gonna talk to me in any kind of way. When she showed up at the family dinner, she stood at the door and was like, everybody turned and everybody got quiet because they didn't know what to expect. And she went in there and she sat down and she made herself the focal point of that dinner. It didn't matter what they were talking about at first. When she got there, she was in charge. She started getting her food, which again, Brent, the pasta did look good. I like the meatballs. The meatballs looked up pretty good. I love meatballs like that. And then Vidi tried to say something, and that's when Sophia went into her speech. And this actress is killing this role. She is so believable as Sofia Falcone. She gets in there, she talks, and everybody's just like, even the cousin or whoever she was got up and she's like, sit down, and he was like, I'm just gonna sit back down,
Mhm.
and sat right back down in the chair. But then she did show a soft side. She got the girl out, the little young girl, because we was like, and we were both sitting here watching the episode, like, what does she have planned? Are hitmen gonna come in? Because she left the window open. We was like, is that a way to let somebody in the house who's gonna come in and just with a silence set and put two in somebody's head and keep it moving? Nah, Sophia did something nobody expected. She popped off the she opened up the gas and let the methane run through the house, and except for Vidi, because that's the window she opened, and we didn't know that till last.
Mhm.
Killed everybody in the house and left him alive. And we argue about this on why she left him alive. I'm saying she needs his influence because the Falcone is the name still carries weight. He's still an underboss. They still have ties all throughout Gotham, and you can't just be Sophia and run up and say I'm in charge now. That won't work. You gotta have a made man next to you, and Vidi is that dude. He's number two. And
Yeah, I guess for all intents and purposes, VD is the person to keep alive. But again, I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him, considering he was not only betraying Luca and the family on a constant basis, he was still
right.
sleeping with Luca's wife. He was trying to betray Penguin. He's trying to betray you very openly, and he's rather
Oh,
mouthy,
he didn't
far,
try. He did.
like more further than he should have been. But Sophia answered a lot of questions this episode. So the show, the only question that I have still going moving forward, and I'm sure they'll probably address this, like maybe like you said during the live stream, maybe episode 6, maybe episode 7. Who did Sophia meet that was operating this bliss operation that she was able to get her hands on? Because
Right.
it was not discussed, it wasn't mentioned, it wasn't dropped. So
And
I
it
think
was
that's going to be
going
another reveal
on.
and another flashback.
And when she first got there, Magpie took Bliss because Bliss is red, and whatever she took made her mouth red. So it was
And it was 10
already
years ago, so this bliss has
right.
been refined.
So it's been going on since she's been in there and out. So the brother might have known about it, and that's how he got into it. So whoever's running Bliss in Arkham got with the Falcons, and we're trying to figure something out. We
But
don't know
again,
that.
this gives your theory speculation as far as Rush is concerned because him and Carlo were the one that broke Sophia out, or at
Right.
least got her out. So for him to be the person to have given the information to Carlo about this Bliss operation, and then for Sophia to have knowledge of it as well, there's a lot of credence there, even though both of us have varying opinions about who Rush could potentially be, or he's just a new created character. So it's like there's a lot to speculate on there.
And after this episode, I'm giving validity to Hugo Strange. I can see now that they have explained the pecking order at Arkham is completely changed. He's no longer at Arkham. His boss is no longer Arkham. I can see them bringing in a Hugo Strange to run Arkham, especially if they're still going to do this Arkham series. That would be a perfect leeway because, for those that don't know, Hugo Strange is one of Batman's most underrated villain, in my opinion.
Unless
He
you
was,
played the Batman Arkham
unless
City
you played the
games.
Batman Arkham, he was one of the few Batman villains to figure out Batman's identity. Joker knows, Riddler knows, Hugo Strange knows.
That's the list.
That's it. And we're talking about people that figured it out on their own. Hugo Strange was so obsessed with Batman that he dressed up as Batman. So I can see him taking over Arkham, and I think if we had him going into the Batman as a behind the scenes, second tier villain, it could work. Just like in the original Batman with Pattinson, you had your main villain, but then you had Penguin and Catwoman running around. You had Riddler was the big boy, but then Penguin was on the side. So you could have Clayface as your main villain in two, but then you could have Hugo just sitting in the background. It would
And
work.
like, and the Penguin is confirmed for Batman too, so there's a lot of stuff to go off with. But this
Right.
overall was a great episode. It continued a lot of popular trends as far as the quality is concerned. It is more of for me, a fill-in episode than a fill-er episode. But
I will
again,
support that.
it's still, I still have questions. I don't know why we didn't get that actor back for the head of the Falcone family, and we
Who
didn't
we
get
hated.
answers about Bliss.
We hated him, by the way.
He just wasn't giving it, and his voice was entirely wrong because now in those 10 years you have to explain how his voice went from deep and how his skin color changed as much as it did from what he was to what he ended up being by the time the Batman rolled around. So it's like there were a lot of major inconsistencies that I thought that is very uncouth for one Matt Reeves. Any other
But
final thoughts pertaining to this episode?
I think we can give that hiccup to him because it's overall these 4 episodes have lived up to my expectations.
And then some for me.
So yeah, I'm good. The storytelling hasn't changed. In fact, honestly, I think this episode had the best storytelling because it had to give us a story over everything. The other ones we got characters, we got action, we got a story. This one had to be pure story because it was a backstory on Sophia, and I think they did it wonderfully. I just that one actor, that was it.
Everybody else been fantastic, and as always, it'd be fantastic if you hit the subscribe button. Heck, you listen to us for 13 minutes to discuss Matt Reeves' universe. It'll be the golden logo in the bottom right corner below Tony, or the red button below me. Be sure to check out all of our other amazing content. We have Supermarket Simulator every Monday,
Which is
Wednesday,
hilarious.
Friday. Agatha all along is still going, rock and rolling. We got Dan to Dan, we got Dragon Ball Daima, and we still
Dan
have
to Dan,
Penguin.
that
Everything is going beautiful. We'll see you in the next one.